Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the K Factor, Everything K-pop with your host, Beomhan. I am your host, Beomhan, and I realize if you guys are kind of listening to this on the radio or the iHeartRadio app, you guys don't really know what this whole system is. So once again, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Beomhan. I was a former K-pop trainee. I trained in Korea for about 6 years, and I kind of now am doing a solo career here in America. And this is my podcast. I get to talk everything K-pop, everything that I experienced and discovered over like the past 6 years. And I get to kind of like share it with you guys. So to me, it's super fun. I get to kind of talk about everything. And not a lot of people kind of get the opportunity to. So for me, it's a blessing. And I'm so happy to kind of share the K-pop experience with the world. So thank you for listening. And let's get into it. Let's talk K-pop. All right. So I have the top 5 K-pop songs that are trending right now. And I'm going to give it to you. Okay. Number 1 is Stunner by 10. Number 2 is I Do Me by Kiki. Number 3, Too Bad featuring Anderson .Paak with G-Dragon. Hot with Le Sserafim. Know About Me by NMIX. And that's the top 5 songs. And sometimes it's just that simple. Okay. We give you the latest news. We give you the latest kind of trending songs. You know, we have TXT. TXT is doing a world tour promise starting on May 3rd, 2025. We have ATEEZ who just announced a new world tour, so make sure you guys get your tickets and enjoy that, okay? Have fun, because this has been a crazy month in K-pop. We kind of talked like controversies and like kind of gossip last time, and not a lot of new things have been happening since then, so we're just gonna get into it, okay? Today, we're talking about dance. This episode is about my love, my passion, dance, and what brought me to K-pop. And special on the K Factor, we're gonna talk 3 different sides of dance in K-pop. We're going to talk kind of my experience as a trainee and kind of going through the system, auditioning, what led me to dance, and kind of how that shaped my career. And then we're going to bring in a student from one of these dance teams who kind of do these covers, they do these videos and all these things. And we're going to talk about their love for K-pop and what it's like to be on the other side, the receiving side. And we're going to have a one-on-one conversation between me and them and kind of be like, oh, like, it's just seeing how my product affects a consumer. You know, for me, that's amazing. And then third, super special on the K Factor, we're going to have one of my very close choreographer friends who has just recently got off an Inkigayo stage, has gone off all these like background, like she's in there. She lives the industry. So we're going to be able to talk to her as well. And yeah, this is kind of a special episode about my love dance. So let's get into it. Okay. Dance. What is dance in K-pop? I think visually, K-pop is all about just kind of keeping people engaged, you know? And I think dance plays such a huge part in it. And it's kind of like a new thing. I don't think dance was as big in the front stage until like, you know, like BTS, until Blackpink, Twice. For Blackpink and Twice, I feel like they really paved the way. You know what I mean? For like girl groups to be able to kind of embrace that, like just dancing as their concept. And they're still kind of like just the world of K-pop is still living in that influence. And I have so much to say about it. But let me talk about my personal experience with dance. Okay. When I was 7 years old, I grew up in the city of New York, okay, Coney Island, New York. And I would walk around the streets and I would hear music on like whether it's the boardwalk or just like random corners of the street. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? It's just kind of like dun, 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 dun. And I would walk towards these little pockets and I'll see just groups of people dancing. And I'm like, that is so cool. And then I would go home and play League of Legends. And then I would go and then like on kind of like the side, there's like things on the TV, like America's Best Dance Crew and all these like cool, like super crazy crews, like Best Crew, who kind of like were full of like Asians, like Filipinos, like kind of people who like looked like me, just going crazy. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I see like the Jabberwockies and like all these things. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. And then I would just keep playing League of Legends because I was like, that's not me. That's not, you know? So it wasn't until I was 16 and then I saw BTS. I think the first video that I saw was Danger, the Danger dance practice. And I'm like, wait, this is incredible. How are they doing that? And they look like me. Like exactly. It wasn't like Filipinos on the TV. It wasn't like African Americans, like the people that I kind of associated with that, like with that culture. You know, I was like, okay, that's not me. So I'm just kind of observing, you know. So good for them. And then I saw it on YouTube of people. I was like, wait, that's amazing. And I felt inspired. And then I went and I brought like I was like 6 of my friends from high school. I was like, yo, let's cover this. Let's cover this. Let's whatever they're doing, let's do it. You know? And then we got a group. We made 7 people. And then we performed for our school talent show. We practiced for 7 months for one BTS dance practice video, and we got last place in the talent show. But I was like, you know what? It's okay. And then I found like this love for dance. And then I was like, okay, so all the things I started seeing on TV when I was a kid, I'm gonna go try that. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go try this. I'm gonna go try this. And I left the K-pop dance team and I started like competing and doing like actual like hip hop, like workshops and like all these things. And then I started getting really good, you know? But it all like sparked from that one moment of seeing BTS on my YouTube. And I feel like that's the power of K-pop. It brought me to my closest friends ever. And actually, oh my God, I debuted January 31st, 2 years ago. Okay. And one of the people who choreographed my debut was one of the people on that original squad of 7 people that we like covered BTS together. Wow, I didn't even remember that. But yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Shout out Tyler. If you want to follow him on Instagram, it's the Tyler Wu, TheTylerWU. We could put that on the screen if it is video. If not, it's okay. He might be a guest one day. Okay. I went off and kind of like started competing and all this stuff. And this all sparked from BTS. Just this one moment. And I feel like that's the beautiful thing about K-pop. It could inspire people. It could touch these people that it could inspire people in a different way than anything else I've seen so far. And especially with this new generation, like my 6-year-old nephew can never sit down and watch like a Kendrick Lamar or like a like Sabrina Carpenter, like these like pop music videos. He can never sit down and just watch it from beginning to end. But then if I put on K-pop, he's engaged. I don't know what it is. He's 6 years old and he just keeps watching. He just keeps watching. And without K-pop, without dance, without all these like visual elements of it, I don't think this would be possible. So I think a huge part of K-pop is dance. And let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. What was it like? How did I get from weird kid growing up in Coney Island to training in Korea? Because I'm sure a lot of you guys watch these things and you're like, okay, I can do like a cover or two. And I'm like, wait, what if I was a K-pop idol? I think everybody kind of had that thought in their life. They're like, what if I was a K-pop idol? And that my whole life started from that thought as well. I was taking the train home with my friend who choreographed me, myself, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go to Korea. And he's like, sounds stupid. And I'm like, okay, you're right. And then I never talked to him again. And then I went and I did a bunch of auditions. So what is auditioning for a K-pop company like as a dancer? Originally, when I first started, I didn't know how to sing. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. And I auditioned for a bunch of these companies as a dancer. And whatever else would come next, it will come next. But I wanted to show off my skills as a dancer. So I auditioned for a bunch of companies in New York City, and things just kept, opportunities will come, and I'll sign up, and I'll go and I'll do an audition, right? And how these like public auditions work when they come to your city is they'll have like a studio or something, and then they'll have a time for which people come in, and then you just go, and they're like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, my name is Beomhan, I think, and then they're like, okay, what do you do? And then I'm like, I dance, and they're like, do you do anything else? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay. And then they call you in a room and you go in and then you dance. You do your little dance. And they'll go, thanks. And then they'll either call you or they won't. And my story, I've never gotten called back from one of these companies, right? However, I know a lot of people who have found a lot of success being scouted from specifically these things. They'll go through the first round, then they'll go through the second round, then they'll go fly to Korea, do another round, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, this is our guy, right? Um, for me, I did a bunch of these auditions, and then I was like, okay, I didn't get in, and that's okay. And I just keep on competing and doing all these things, right? And I think that you should do it. Because then I know you're listening. You're this, I like learned one or two songs. Like, I don't know if I should do it. You should do it. I have met some of my closest friends ever in life through one of these auditions. And I think it was specifically like this like JYP audition, like back in like 2016. And I don't even think they were looking for dudes. Literally, they were like a girl group audition. And I was like, I'll do it, dude. And then I went and I auditioned. And it was just like people who were just coming for fun. And then you go and you meet people and then you get like Instagrams and then you share and you guys like hang out. Like, that's a great time. And I feel like that's also a beautiful thing about K-pop. Like, going to concerts, going to like fan meets, going to like cafe events, or like whatever it is like you meet people who like the same thing as you, you know? So yeah, go to that audition. And who knows, maybe you'll get lucky. And or maybe you won't. And that's just life and you just move on, you know? So I did a bunch of these auditions and then I didn't get in, but I kept posting on social media and I was giving my social media to a lot of these agencies, right? I kept on posting on social media and then I eventually got scouted and they were watching my dance videos and all this stuff and they're like, hey, I think you have to look to do this. Can you come and audition, right? I'm like, okay, cool. I can come and audition. And I did an audition. And I flew all the way to Canada to audition for this company. And then they took me on tour and they're like, okay, cool. Like, this is our guy. And they gave me the name Beomhan. And then I moved to Korea. Something that's interesting about dance and K-pop from back then to now, I think it's like the evolution of it. When I first went to Korea, dance was not emphasized in their training like at all. Like literally at all. My 선배님s, like my elder members, they didn't dance. Like in their training, they never trained dance. Before they got scouted, they weren't evaluated on dance. Like at all. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm the first person in this company who dances. And I thought that was weird. But then and then that was kind of like my like reason for going so hard at it. I was like, okay, if in this world of singers and whatever, right? You guys do that. I'm going to be really good at what I do. And then I kept on training dance. And then I was like, okay, give me more hours on dance. Give me more hours on dance. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to find a way to make this special thing the most special thing ever, right? And then I was supposed to have like a group, and I was like, okay, this person, my friend, he's gonna sing his butt off. Oh, this person, he's gonna like rap his butt off, and I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna do my job, you know. And then then COVID came, and then I ended up having no group members, and I was like, wait, I'm just dancing on my own. What's going on? So we were like, oh, COVID. I was like, can I have some friends? And they're like, no, we can't afford your friends. And I was like, okay. So I was just like stuck in a basement, like by myself for like a year, like being quarantined. I was like, I don't know what to do, but I'm really good at dance. I can keep training dance, but I know I'm good at it already. And we can't bring in teachers because, again, COVID. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to find a way to become famous with this then. And then I made a TikTok. And then I started dancing on TikTok because I don't have to sing on TikTok. Heck yeah. You know? So I was like, okay, I'm stuck in this basement. I'm doing this training routine where they have me like dancing from midnight to 6 a.m. and like all this stuff, right? And I'm like, okay, I have some time. I could do a TikTok, right? And I made a TikTok and then I started doing vlogs. I started doing dancing and like all these things. And then I started going viral. And still at that time, dancing was not that big on TikTok either. Like oh my God, if you go on TikTok now and you see like a K-pop dance video and it has like 6 million likes, 30 million views and like all these things. Yo, it was not like that when I first started TikTok. And I think it was like back in like 2019 or like, yeah, 2019. or yeah, because it was COVID-19. What right as COVID hit, you see like a K-pop like a dance video or dance challenge on TikTok, and it's probably one group ever doing it. It's filmed on like a Nokia, and then it has like 20,000 views. But then it's like that's like Koreans and like there's like a local For You page, you know? And then for me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do TikTok, but I want more than 20,000 views. So I brought in like Western trends, and I started doing Western trends, and I started doing the Korean trends, and I'll do like the K-pop trends, and it would get like 15, 10,000 views. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'll do like a Charlie D'Amelio dance, and it'll get like 6 million. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I built myself a little system because dancing was just so not a thing in K-pop. So I built a system where I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do these Western trends, and then I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna build this Western trends, and I'm gonna go do this, and all the while still like training. I was writing raps, I was releasing music, and all this stuff, and I was just kind of like, okay, this is my thing because this is my thing, you know. And I'll be patient. I'll wait for members to come, and then all this stuff, and it didn't really happen. But dance is literally what fueled this entire thing that I have, and you know, I'm so grateful for it, and I love it. I'm such a nerd, and on this podcast, we're going to be talking to like so many of these choreographers and all these people who brought K-pop to Korea, like the style of dance that like K-pop is now. Who was the trailblazer of this style, you know, and like who brought it to Korea from America, you know? So we're going to be able to talk to all these people, and I'm just so excited. Now, let's talk to you, the fans. And one of the greatest things about this show, in my opinion, is the opportunity for you guys to kind of engage. So if you're listening in, once again, on either iHeartRadio app or the radio or wherever it is, just know that if you guys follow us, you guys will have an opportunity to be on the show and talk to the guests and also talk to me. And we're going to have a little fan interview with you guys right now because I think the fans is one of the biggest parts of K-pop in general. So what is it like? What is it like to be a captain of a dance club? What is it like to be so passionate about K-pop that you go and you spend your free time learning these dances? So let's do it. And let's bring in the fans. All right, everybody, please welcome Maya to the show. Claps, claps, claps.
Hi.
Hi, Maya. Could you please introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Hi, everybody. My name is Maya, and I'm a performer, and I love K-pop.
Heck yeah. How old are you, Maya?
I'm 14 years old.
You are 14 years old. And what they told me is that you currently are in a high school K-pop dance team. Is that correct?
Yes. There's a K-pop group, and they do little performances here and there.
Like what city and where do you live? Like, you know?
Austin, Texas.
In Austin, Texas. Okay. Thank you for coming on to the show. And today, I just kind of wanted to like talk to you about dance, you know? Because you're on a dance team. You run a podcast. Could you talk about your podcast a little bit?
Yeah, so I started it in 2023.
Wow.
1 year after I got into K-pop. And
Okay.
I was just talking to my mom about all of these things I was hearing. I was like, BTS, and they're going to serve in the military.
Oh,
and they're
wow.
not going to be back for like 2 years.
Okay.
And they're going to be back in 2025. And my mom was like, why are you telling me this?
Okay.
And I was like, what do you want me to do with all this information?
Okay.
And she said, make a podcast.
Okay.
So I wanted to make a podcast so I can be able to show and tell people my like news and my ideas and my thoughts.
Right.
Because I didn't have that. And so I wanted that to be shown.
Okay. Technically, you're my sunbae because you started before me. So you're my superior.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you. I have to take notes from you. And I feel like that's kind of like also like the beautiful thing about K-pop too. You know, it's like things happen and you want to talk about it and you want to share things. You know, what brought you to your dance team?
Well, I joined the school and then I went on a tour.
Okay.
To the school. They had just finished the K-pop dance performance.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were doing some Espa, Supernova, stuff like that.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And
wow.
and then I joined it. And so I've been just doing that performances.
Okay. How did you first was that your first experience and your first exposure to K-pop, or did you discover it before that?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I saw a poster and I was like, they're kind of cool. And then I started listening to their music, to BTS music.
Oh, okay,
and
BTS.
I was like, I listened to DNA by BTS, and that was probably like the first song that I was like, this is really good. And so I added it to my playlist, and then it just kind of spiraled from there.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. And then you were just like, okay, this is like super cool. You were watching.
This is
and
the
then,
whole thing. It's like a whole fandom. It's a whole experience. And then I just dove from there.
Okay. And then you went to tour your school and you're like, oh, wow, that's the K-pop thing. And then you went and you joined and you've been K-pop dancing since.
Yes.
What was the first cover that you ever did?
Ooh, it was probably Thunderous by Stray Kids.
Oh, that's a good one. You performed it?
And I learned it in my kitchen one day that I didn't have school, and I was just learning it. And I was like, this is really good.
Okay.
And my sister was watching me. And she's like, what are you doing?
Are you the first person in your family to kind of like get into K-pop?
Yes.
Okay. That's cool. Where's your family from?
Colombia, South America.
Colombia, South America. Are you like, did they come to America? Like when you
They did. I was born here though.
Okay. So you're first generation and then you're in this Colombian kitchen. just Stray Kids Thunderous. Okay. Cool. Is that like your song? What is like your K-pop song? What's your favorite K-pop song of all time?
Ooh, all time. Well, recently Stray Kids released the units for their Dominate like diss track mixtape album.
Right.
And my bias Han did like a song with Felix. And it's called Truman. And it's my favorite song. Okay.
Is that your favorite group? Stray Kids?
Yes, Stray Kids.
Nice. I want to kind of pick your brain about what got you into this life, kind of like how you're balancing this and all this stuff, right? Have you had any recent performances that you remember?
I think the most recent one was at K-pop night when I watched you perform.
Okay. Yeah, that was a day. Austin,
when
Texas.
I did Siren and Impossible.
Mm-hmm. What I noticed in Austin was that it's actually like a much smaller city than like I imagined, right? It's not like really a place that I would imagine K-pop being around like 5, 6, 7 years ago, you know? Yeah. So like what have you kind of like when you go to school and you kind of like look around you and you're like, okay, I have this love for BTS, Stray Kids, like all these people. Do you kind of look around and see people with like a similar interest or kind of not yet?
There's a couple people. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have gotten a lot of people into K-pop that are in my class. And sometimes they fall out of it, but I'm like, I love this and this is what I want to do. So if they don't want to do it, that's fine. And I'll get other people and I'll just have fun with other people.
Okay. And would you say that's like a hard thing to do? To like kind of just find like more and more people who like enjoy the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Especially like where you're from, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. How big do you think K-pop plays in your life? You know, like what percentage of your life is K-pop?
Like 75% of my life.
That's a lot of percent. Especially when you're in school.
If you would have asked me like 4 years ago,
right,
I would have said like 30%.
Okay.
Throughout the years, it's gotten progressively more.
Wow, that's incredible. And it's like, you know, like for me, when I first got into K-pop, it was because I kind of looked at K-pop and I was like, wait, they look like me. And they're doing like all this cool stuff. Like, I want to do that, you know? Kind of what was the thing that pulled you in? Like, what was the thing where you saw BTS and was like, what is it about them that kind of was like, oh, wow, this is like the coolest thing ever?
Just their energy and the stage presence during their performances.
Right.
It was really, really captivating.
Yeah.
Just being able to perform and have the sea of fans just like waving your light sticks.
Right.
It was just mesmerizing to see that. It was really cool.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it was also the same thing. I was like, oh, wait, they exist in this moment. And all the fans who are there watching also exist in that moment. Mm-hmm. And they get to like celebrate together, you know? Okay. I have a question. If you never discovered K-pop, if you never saw that video on YouTube, if you never saw the K-pop dancing thing on your school tour, do you think your life would be different?
Yes.
Okay. How so?
Well, I feel like I wouldn't be so energetic as I am with music because when I was in 5th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, this was in 5th grade. My obsessions were Hamilton and Puth, and that was all I listened to.
Okay.
And then I found BTS, and I was like, this is really, really cool.
Okay.
And then now it's all I listen to. So honestly, I don't really know what I would look like right now if it wasn't for K-pop.
Okay. And it's like you get to meet friends through it, you know, like all these things. And then it's kind of like transitioning like one passion. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay. So how long do you think you've been in this space? How long do you think you've been a K-pop fan?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. So in these 4 years, is there one dance practice video? Is there one choreography? One piece of, is there one project that you feel the most connected to? Like your favorite one that you will always remember?
Well, some people don't consider this K-pop.
Okay.
I'm going to say Cat's Eye.
Okay.
If you know Cat's Eye.
Yeah.
Because I watched Dream Academy all the way through, and then I just watched it through, and now Cat's Eye, and I have their albums. And it's just so cool seeing the diversity in this group and how much work they put into it.
Okay.
And how they turned out and how big they are right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Cat's Eye.
So just watching them go through. And so probably Cat's Eye is the biggest group that's had the most impact on me personally.
Okay. Another question. All right. What makes you love a dance? Yeah, I mean, like you're watching all these videos and you're like, okay, this one's all right. This one's good. Oh, we're going to cover this one. What kind of gives you that feeling?
I feel like it has to be the energy that the person doing the dance has to give.
Okay.
Like everyone just puts everything into their dance practices along with Stray Kids. They will go all out, and just to see them with all the energy that they put into the dance makes me want to replicate that dance as well. Okay. And then seeing other creators replicating the dance and then me wanting to know the dance so I can replicate it as well.
Okay.
That's really what motivates me.
Okay. Do you have a favorite K-pop dancer?
Like Idol? Lino from Stray Kids.
Sorry? One more time?
Lino from Stray Kids.
Oh, Lino from Stray Kids. Okay. Well, I see and understand your love of K-pop. Thank you for spending your time here today, and I really appreciate everything that you have shared. And thank you for kind of being yourself and kind of embracing the moment and being one of our first guests on the K Factor.
I'm so excited. I'm so glad I got this opportunity. Thank you so much, Beomhan.
Thank you as well, and welcome, Amber.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Where are you from?
I'm from Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Okay, I think we have talked to a couple people from Austin. How is it?
It's nice here.
It's nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there recently, which is where I think I saw you in the audience. Hello, Amber.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
K-pop night. I did a little performance in Austin, and now she's here. That's what happens if you come to a Beomhan concert. Yeah, we're gonna kidnap you, and we're gonna put you on the podcast.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome. I want to ask you some questions. Is that okay?
Yes, that is okay.
All right. When did you first discover K-pop, Amber?
It was actually on June 10th, 2022. I remember the exact date.
Whoa. Okay.
I was on the phone with my friend.
Okay.
And I asked her if I should play any music, and she said, "You should play Pop by Neon." And I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
I asked her if that was K-pop, and she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "I don't like K-pop. I don't want to play it." She was like, "Just play it." And so I played it, and I liked it. And then she started introducing me into more groups like ITZY, Twice, Stray Kids, all that jazz.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. That's incredible. So you were in the car, she was like, put this song on. And you're like, no. Ew.
I was at home. I was on the phone with her.
Oh, okay. And you're like, ew, what's a K-pop? And then you listen to it and you're like, wait, this is fire.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Okay, so from that moment to now, who has been your favorite group?
Stray Kids.
Stray Kids?
Yes.
Wow. I've been getting a lot of Stray Kid answers. That's awesome. Okay, what is your favorite song by Stray Kids?
Ooh, probably Waiting for Us.
Okay.
It was a part of their Ordinary album.
Okay, cool. What was it about that first moment? You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I'm not really convinced. I don't really like K-pop. But then you put it on. And then there was that moment where you're like, wait, what was that? What was that for you? Like, what was it about it?
Oh, so I was mostly used to hearing about like BTS and stuff.
Okay.
I didn't really know a ton of other groups besides BTS and Blackpink. So I was like, I've heard some of their music and I don't really like it. And then I didn't know that there was other groups basically. And I heard pop and I was like, whoa, wait a second. This is kind of like similar to the other music I listen to.
Right.
So I was like, maybe it's not that bad.
You're right. Like, there's a lot more K-pop groups than people realize. Like now, like at Coachella, you know, and Hypen's performing, like Blackpink's performing, all this stuff. You see J-Hope, you're like, maybe this is for me, maybe this is not for me. But then you don't realize like thousands of groups debut a day. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah, like they gave me a list, the staff, they gave me a list of recent K-pop releases. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna read this. We have Renko debuting with Tuskani. We have Shinseong. We have Hong Gangsa. We have Lim Tae-hwan. We have Zero Wave. I'm like, wow. Everybody's debuting. And so, you know, like there's something out there for everyone.
Yes.
You know? And for you, it was Nayeon Pop. And then it led you straight into Stray Kids.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Crazy.
Do you have a favorite memory as a K-pop fan? Like going to like a fan meet, going to a concert, or like watching something with your friends?
I think it was when I went to an ITZY concert for the first time for my 12th birthday.
Oh my gosh.
I think about that a lot.
Okay. What year was this?
That was 2023, I believe.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that generation of girl groups, like they brought dance. You know, it's
that's exactly what happened.
Like no one was serving like they were serving. And then you're
Literally.
like, and it was like, I feel like you watch that and you're like, oh wow, this is possible? And then,
It was like, I think specifically that concert was what like led me into learning more K-pop dances.
Okay, you learn K-pop dances?
Oh yes, I know like 80.
Okay, you're like the champion of like the random K-plans, of the random play dance. Okay, yeah. You're like, wow, she has been doing straight cardio for the past 45 minutes. That's you. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Okay. What out of all of these dances, what is your favorite?
Oh, Walking on Water by Stray Kids.
Wow. So do you like boy group dances more or like girl group dances?
I like boy group dances more because they challenge me a lot more than girl group dances do. But I know my fair share of both. So
yeah, I feel like what do you think is the biggest difference between the two? You know, what makes it a girl like
boy group dances? They have a lot more difficult movements.
Okay,
and it's more like on a hip hop side,
right?
Whereas girl groups are more pop, but they have like. They're kind of similar, but they're contrasting perfectly at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. It's interesting that you say that because I think like girl group dancers have harder movements. Like when I was training and stuff, they were like, oh, okay, like some days we have to learn girl group dances, some days we have to learn boy group dances. Whenever it comes to the girl group dances, I'm like, I want to swallow a bullet. Like, yeah, sorry if that's a little graphic. But for I think like. Boy group dances, they're more hip hop inspired, like you said, which is really insightful. And girl group dances are more like in the hips, more street jazz, you know? So
yes, it's exactly what they are.
Yeah. So I don't have like foundations in street jazz, you know? Like my hips don't, I can't, I simply can't, you know? So I think it's interesting that you say that. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you go to like a lot of fan meets, a lot of concerts?
No, I don't. I've only been to. I was supposed to go to an IVE concert, but I had dance tryouts that day, so I wasn't able to make it.
Okay. For a K-pop dance team?
No, it was for school.
For school. What do you dance at school?
Yeah, there's a dance team.
Okay. like a okay, please tell me more about this dance team. I don't even okay.
So they'll bring in girls and you can audition. It's a ton of different dance genres like contemporary, jazz, hip hop, ballet, everything.
Okay.
Very, very difficult stuff.
Okay. And what'd you audition for?
They gave us a tryout dance. I think it was a jazz dance. It was really hard. It took me like a week to learn it.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So now you have so you're telling me you have experience doing like more like traditional like jazz, contemporary, hip hop, like all these things for your dance team, and then you're doing these 80 K-pop dance covers. You coming out to these K-pop concerts and just busting it down at these. Okay, cool. What do you think is the most different from K-pop dances when you learn it and this kind of stuff you learn in school?
The stuff you learn in school, it doesn't really, I mean, it has emotion.
Okay.
But it feels forced.
Okay.
Whereas K-pop dances, it's kind of on you. Like there's more improv in those. In school dances, it makes you feel like everything you're just following what you were taught.
Right.
K-pop dances, you have more freedom.
That's how I feel about K-pop dances. That is so crazy that you say that. Because when I'm in Korea, that's what I'm taught. So I feel the same way.
I mean, yeah, it's different because like you're trained.
No, because I also do.
I'm just existent.
For me, it's the complete opposite. Because I also take workshops. I go out, like even when I'm in Korea, like my system was a little bit different where I went out to the teachers. So I would go to like dance classes and like all this stuff, right? And what they teach me in the company, I'm like, I'm just going through the motions. And then what I learned outside in the academy, I'm like, this is where I can improv and be myself and express myself. So it's a complete opposite of what you're saying.
Because like you're like getting trained to do like these K-pop dances and stuff. For like fans, it's more on your own time. Right. You don't necessarily have to learn them. It's just if you want to.
That's true. But what, you're gonna stand still at the random dance roulette?
No.
What do you? Oh my god! I never say it properly. What is it? Random play dance.
It's just called random dance, I guess.
Okay, random dance. Okay, we have a lot of listeners who are new. Can you explain what a random dance is?
Okay, so they usually held at like K-pop events, like K-pop based events. Mm-hmm. They'll have music videos or dance practices from popular groups come on like popular songs. And they'll usually have like the mirrored version. So if you get mixed up, you'll be able to see it. And if you know the dance, you'll like go out into like this circle, or if there's a stage, you'll go onto the stage and you'll do the dance. You'll do as much as you know. And if you don't know it, you just stay on the sides and cheer everyone on. And it just continues until it ends.
Wow. And when I first saw this for the first time, because this was like after, like I already left Korea when I was like 17. I've never seen all this stuff, right? First time I saw it, I was like, what in the Step Up 3 is happening right now? Like, it felt like a club where everybody was just like, it's my turn to go. And then they're busting it down in the dance floor. There's like 10 people doing the same choreography. I'm like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. So, and that's random dance. Yeah.
That's exactly.
Awesome. Cool. And this and on the K Factor right now, we have the champion. Yep, number one. Thank you for your time, Amber. Is there anything that you wanted to say to the audience, or anything that you wanted to share?
Just like if you're interested in something, keep going at it. There's stuff you can do to like you can make your own K-pop dance group if that's what you want. You can make your own podcast. You can make your own whatever. Just if you have an interest for something, you can stick to it because that can really benefit you in the future.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you so
Amber.
much for having me. Yep, Thank you for having me.
Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow. Thank you, Amber. Thank you for your time. And I think that's a beautiful point that she brought up. And I think that is the most important part about K-pop. You know, you enjoy it, There's going to be someone else who enjoys it. You can go and random play together. You can go to these concerts together. You can make all these memories. And as you can see from the conversations that we've had, it will change your life. 70% of her life, she said, is in K-pop. K-pop has an influence on a lot of people. And this is kind of the impact that what we do have. And that was super nerve-wracking. It was my first time having a conversation with a fan one-on-one for an extended amount of time where I could just be vulnerable and be myself. So yeah, thank you, K Factor. Thank you for making this happen. And now let's move on to our next guest. Okay, everybody, please welcome Bae, who is calling in today. And thank you for your time and your presence. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Bae.
Okay.
I'm from San Antonio, Texas. Rep San Antonio, Texas.
Rip.
And I'm on a dance team too.
Okay.
We're cool. It's Evolve under Echo Effect Company.
Okay, what else?
I'm 23.
Okay, what else?
I'm bright and fun.
Okay, what else?
And I have been dancing since I was a kid.
All right.
For a long time. But I've competed off and on. And actually, coming up soon, I will be competing in Houston with a different team. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that. And I've been performing K-pop. I've been into K-pop since 2016.
Wow.
And yeah, girl. And I've been dancing K-pop, like all of that good stuff for about 5 years now.
Okay, I kind of want to know more about this world of K-pop cover competition and all these things. Are you in a school team or is this something outside?
No, this is something outside. So Echo Effect Company in general is one of the first K-pop cover groups in Texas.
Okay.
So cool. Every state's a little bit different. And in Texas, at least, I can assure that competing in general, I've been to a lot of competitions. I've seen a lot of competitions. It's very competitive, but there's also a lot of camaraderie, I guess. At the end of the day, I'm happy to be there. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. So it's you're competing against each other, but you're still just one big community. You know?
Yeah, we're literally I know majority of the teams in all of the big states.
Oh wow.
And even we're all friends and we all get along type stuff.
Yeah, there's national tournaments. Not tournaments, but competitions, right? And I've judged in a couple of them, but I have no idea what's going on. I'm I'll do a little performance, and then there's a K-pop dance contest, and they're oh, this team is from Florida. This team is from Texas. This team is from so you're doing these competitions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how is it usually graded? What kind of things are you striving for when you practice?
So I've also talked to a few of my friends who judge. So it's different at every competition.
Okay.
Some people they judge you based off of performance wise, are you giving facials? Are you performing to the crowd, the audience type
thing?
Are you
serving?
Are you giving entertainment?
Yeah.
Are you serving? Make it or break it at that point.
Uh-huh.
It's also technicality as well.
Okay.
They're judging technical, or are you doing the because some people will also create their own version of their choreography.
Okay.
And so of the original choreography.
Wow.
So it's is that good? Did you eat on that? Or was it a flop? It depends. It really depends on the judge and on the competition in general. But those are the main. Also, are you keeping up?
Yeah.
Are you getting tired halfway through?
Right.
It's obvious. We know.
I'm gonna be honest. When I was judging, I just had a scorecard. It was supposed to be 1 to 100, but I just did 1 to 8.
Yeah.
I'm oh, get these flops off the stage.
Get them.
They served.
Sweep them off.
1 to serve. Well,
1 to serve.
Yeah, thank you for your insight. That's pretty cool. I did not know that this is how it works. I apparently have been judging wrong. Yeah. Well,
just a little bit.
Okay.
We won't tell.
I think the most important thing to me, maybe to the audience, is do you have fun doing this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I cannot. I love dancing. So K-pop dance in general is like you're getting the best of both worlds. You're being able to support the group or the artist that you're covering while also dancing and having fun. And especially with my team, Evolve, we really, it's very family oriented. Like we are very family. We're not friends. And they just make it so much more fun dancing with your friends, dancing with people that you actually care about. It's something that it's like, I don't know, dude. It's like
a community.
It is fun.
Yeah. How has your life changed since like joining one of these teams? Like, do you think you'd be the same person?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Like, I'm originally from, I'm not from, like, I wasn't born here in San Antonio. And so moving to San Antonio and being on the team and joining into the team, like coming from moving here as an adult, like not being able to make friends with school and stuff like that, like having that kind of community be there for me when I needed them the most and like helping me create friends and bonds and stuff like that with people. Like I don't know, without my team, I don't know where I'd be, especially like I'd probably be very alone if I was by myself, if I didn't go to that audition, if I did not go to that audition. Like, so it's very much changed my life. And it's like, and also I was not, after high school, I wanted to quit dancing as well.
Okay.
Because I'm like, this isn't, I want to be an actress. This isn't what I want to do.
Okay.
Like, so, but
okay,
it brought me back into dance. And so I appreciate it. And it's made me love it a lot more.
Okay. Did you, what was your previous dance experience? Were you like part of like a school program or were you part of like an academy?
So I took classes. I took classes. Go ahead. I took classes here and there. I would take my mom or my grandma would put me into them here and there. And then in high school especially, I did what's called show choir.
Okay.
And I don't know what y'all guys know about show choir, but that's singing and dancing. And it's kind of like
Right.
And that really, and then I did like dance teams and like I had to self-teach myself sometimes too. Money's tight in this, you know what I mean?
Girl, dancing is expensive. I feel
like
I feel that like I feel like that's one of the cool things about K-pop too is like you just watch videos and you learn. But then like 20 years ago, you're like, I want my kid to dance. And it's like, okay, give me $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah. And then your kid gets like bullied in like ballet academy and like all these things, you know. But then it's like what you're experiencing here is like, oh, I couldn't make friends like here. But then I'm really passionate about this. I just learned this on YouTube. And all of a sudden you look around, there's like 20 other people who just enjoy it. And you just enjoy it together. Yeah. You know?
You just enjoy it together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And your parents didn't have to pay $1 gajillion.
Exactly. Guess what? It's free 99.
Free 99.
It's free 99.
Yeah. You find a discount section at the Dollar Tree.
Exactly. I'm in my bedroom. Like,
man, these concerts are not free 99. That's for sure.
Girl, don't even get me started.
You've been to a concert recently?
No, but I'm going to 2.
Okay, which ones?
I'm going to Stray Kids.
Boom.
And I'm going to ATs.
ATs and Stray Kids. Stray Kids is on tour?
Yeah, bro. They're
Girl, we gotta talk about this on the podcast. We're not even talking about this on the podcast. Thank you. You want a job?
Just going. Just mad you ain't going.
Okay, yeah. Dance experience before and then kind of like transitioning into K-pop. What is the difference that you see the most, like being in both communities?
I feel a lot less pressure.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like not to say that competing or performing is not like there's still like anxiety and there's still nervousness because you are performing in front of that crowd, you are performing in front of those judges, just like a dance competition, an ordinary dance competition. But I just feel like there's a lot less pressure. There's more emphasis on having fun.
Yeah.
And enjoying yourself and just embracing the fact that, you know, you're there with your team and you're representing your team, your city, your state, your whatever. And you're just having fun doing it because you've listened to the songs a million times. You've been practicing. You're good. Like, there's nothing for you to worry about. Like, there's just a lot less anxiety about it, at least for me personally.
Okay.
I can't speak for everybody, but for me personally.
Okay. So there's someone out there who was in that position, you know, went through ballet academy or whatever. It's like, oh, this is like toxic. I don't really want to do this anymore, you know? And they're like, okay, I want to try joining a K-pop dance team. Okay. What would you say to that person?
If it's a dance team in Texas, I would say choose wisely.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Choose wisely.
Oh, wow.
If you are seriously wanting to join a team, join it. Don't allow outside perspective to dictate what team you join and like, you know what I mean? What teams to weigh out and what teams to join.
Okay.
Like, try it for yourself. If you like it, stay on the team. If not, there are a million other teams in Texas that you can easily join. And also pick a good audition song.
Okay.
Pick a good audition song.
Okay.
That's really performative.
Wow.
Because a lot of teams like that. A lot of teams like, even if you mess up, keep going.
Okay.
Don't make it look like you messed up, because that makes people mad.
Wow. I didn't think about that. Choose wisely. Because it's kind of like you're choosing your friend group for like the next like couple of months. Yeah. It's like, if you're not vibing and you're not getting along. Okay. I didn't even think about that. That's cool. Okay.
Gotcha.
So audition well, audition with what you're confident in, and choose your friends wisely, because these are the people you're going to be hanging out with. Okay.
Yeah. I've been stuck with these guys for 3 years.
3 years. Wow. That's incredible. 2 years? Oh, okay. Okay.
Almost 3. Actually, almost 3.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you recommend it? Would you say this is something that you would recommend to people?
Yeah. I think it's a great experience. Like, honestly, it's definitely it's definitely gotten me back into dance. And it's also a fun way, like, even my younger sisters, like, because we come from a town where K-pop, the closest thing to K-pop is Barnes and Noble. So it's like, like, we don't got anything out there. And so, like, there's no teams, there's no events, there's no stores, there's no nothing. We got Target and Barnes and Noble. That's it, girl.
Okay.
Like, and so they're always talking about how jealous they are that there are opportunities like this in states. So especially if you're in a state that has these, take advantage of it. My gosh, please.
Wow.
There's people who wish they were you. Just know that.
Who
wish they were you.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I grew up in like New York, so that kind of thing was always around me. It's super accessible. But like growing up in like a small town, you know, you see like a pink wig, and you're like, oh my god, this reminds me of him. You know, just trying to find the scraps you can. Okay, cool. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to say to the audience today?
Stan ATs.
Stan ATs, period. And if you go to this concert, you'll probably see her there.
Yeah, if you're going to the Gold Life, I think that's what it is. I remember. In Dallas, I'll be there.
Okay. Thank you, Bay. Take care.
Yeah,
have a great day. Thank you for coming on. Okay. That was Bay. Thank you for coming on to the show. Thank you for being a part of this moment. And I hope that as the show goes on, you can also participate and be able to talk to these guests that we have, and also have one of these conversations. And that is the K Factor, the K-pop experience.